Senator Casey.
Acting Secretary Sue, great to be with you, and thanks for your public service. I'm going to support your nomination proudly, and you're not only prepared to do this job and well qualified, I think you'll serve with distinction as you have in the Department of Labor in your work already. I think it's important to put a few things on the record. It may prevent me from getting to my questions, but I'll start with the mission of the department. I think it's been lost here in the discussion in Washington. Sometimes Washington is, you have a debate that is grounded in facts, and sometimes there's a lot of hot air, and we've heard a lot of that of late. Here is the mission statement for the United States Department of Labor. It's the mission statement today. It was the mission statement under the prior administration. Here it is. Quote, to foster, promote, and develop the welfare of the wage earners, job seekers, and retirees of the United States, and also to improve working conditions, advance opportunities for profitable employment, and assure work-related benefits and rights, unquote. It's not the Department of Corporations. It's not the Department of Employers and Employees and all the talk you heard here today. It's the Department of Labor. I want a Department of Labor that is fighting every day for workers, not as some have characterized it. It's a department that has to administer some 180 federal laws for 150 million workers and 10 million workplaces. There's a lot of work to do to protect workers. If corporations were doing their job, we wouldn't need a Department of Labor, but you need one in the United States of America. A couple things about unemployment insurance. This is where the hot air is in Washington in this debate about this nomination. So I want to clarify a few things. The first being, California is a huge state. You paid out more claims than anybody. 1 in 5 of all unemployment claims in the country. Is that correct?
That's correct, Senator.
Isn't it true that 95 to 98% of the fraud in California was not from the regular unemployment program that you administered, but actually from the specially created Pandemic Unemployment Assistance Program created by the United States Senate and the House in the middle of the pandemic? Isn't that true?
That's true, Senator.
So here's what we had. We had a special unemployment program set up for the pandemic, the worst crisis in 100 years. And a lot of things went well, and a lot of things didn't go very well. Here's what Bloomberg Law said. This isn't me. Bloomberg Law said this, quote, many of the fraudulent claims in California across the country have stemmed from a federal virus relief program. They didn't put in parentheses the CARES Act that every United States senator voted yes on. This program launched in April to support independent contractors and other workers not previously eligible for benefits. Guidance from the Department of Labor last year directed states to begin paying benefits to claimants under this program who had yet to provide documentation verifying their past earnings. The ability of states to accept self-certifications allowed vulnerable workers to get faster payments, but also exposed the state systems, to paying out false claims, unquote. That's Bloomberg Law talking about what the Congress did and that the states had to administer. So I think it's pretty clear that there's been a lot of hot air and a lot of fiction flying around Washington about what happened in California. I hope there's a similar examination of every state's unemployment insurance record as well. So here's my question in the minute that I have left. It's about a topic that you made reference to with Senator Hassan, subminimum wage. We're trying to do everything we can to phase it out, to get rid of it. It's not good for our workers and good for workers with disabilities. So we're trying to get rid of it, to be blunt about it. I want to phase it out and to make sure that people with disabilities have a fair shot in the workplace. Senator Daines and I have a bipartisan bill, the Transformation to Competitive Integrated Employment Act, that will lift up workers with disabilities and raise their wages. I want to ask you again, I know this is by way of reiteration, what is the administration doing to ensure that we have competitive integrated employment for people with disabilities, and specifically, how are you enforcing the 14C requirements?
Well, thank you very much for our meeting, Senator, and for this question, which is very important. So competitive integrated employment is the the North Star. It is where we want to make sure that all workers with disabilities are able to access the same good jobs we keep talking about, get the training that they need to succeed in those jobs, the supports that they need in the workplace, and pathways to upward mobility in those jobs, just as workers without disabilities have. And at the Department of Labor, our sub-agency, the Office of Disability Employment Policy, is laser focused on that work. And I've been engaged with them over the last 2 years as Deputy Secretary on making sure that we are finding every possible way to expand such programs, to support employers who are adopting those programs, to provide technical assistance to employers to do outreach to workers with disabilities.
I know we've got to conclude. We'll work with you on this, and I just look forward to working with you on it. Thanks, Mr. Chairman.
I do too. Thank you, Senator.
Senator